Hey everyone, my name is Tyler and this is The Greatest Cause. What is the greatest cause? It's helping others come unto Christ. Today we're going to talk about President Russell M. Nelson's General Conference address titled Pure Truth, Pure Doctrine, and Pure Revelation. This was his welcome message from the October 2021 General Conference. This address is short, sweet, and to the point, but it's packed with a lot of really good information. If you want to listen to his full address, I have the link down in the description below. Let's get on to the first quote. The general authorities and general officers of the church who speak will focus their messages on our Savior Jesus Christ, His mercy, and His infinite redeeming power. There has never been a time in the history of the world when knowledge of our Savior is more personally vital and relevant to every human soul. Imagine how quickly the devastating conflicts throughout the world and those in our individual lives would be resolved if we all chose to follow Jesus Christ and heed His teachings. So like I've said in my previous videos, there's definitely a great sense of urgency in these General Conference addresses, especially the term, "There has never been a time in the history of the world." I've made mention of phrases like that before, and it is no different in this case. You have strong language like vital and relevant to every human soul if we all chose to follow Jesus Christ and heed His teachings. There's so much insight you can gain from just studying the language that a prophet chooses to use. It's clear that President Nelson wants us to have a personal knowledge of the Savior. I think a lot about the last part too, where he says if we all chose to follow Jesus Christ and heed His teachings. I think a lot of us view that phrase and think, yeah, if everyone else did it. But we need to look more inward with phrases like that. I know I'm guilty of that. It's like if everyone else was just good, but we need to be better. Are we truly a follower? Are we truly a good disciple? We need to ask ourselves that question every day. Yes, we need to get others to follow Him, but if we ourselves are not following Him, we're never going to lead anyone down the right path. Now this next quote I'm really excited about. Contrary to the doubts of some, there really is such a thing as right and wrong. There really is absolute truth, eternal truth. One of the plagues of our day is that too few people know where to turn for truth. I can assure you that what you will hear today and tomorrow constitutes pure truth. There's a footnote, and it's in Doctrine and Covenants 123, verse 12. For there are many yet on the earth among all sects, parties, and denominations who are blinded by the subtle craftiness of men, whereby they lie in wait to deceive, and who are only kept from the truth because they know not where to find it. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. It's so hard to find good sources for anything. It's hard to trust the news. Deception is so easy to get trapped by. The news, politics are just a complete joke now. As a world, and especially for my generation, there's kind of this idea that nothing even matters. There's a lot of nihilistic thinking in media, and it's really sad. I'm currently thinking of a meme, and if I could find it, I'll pull it up. But there's this meme of, it was like millennials and Gen Z, and it was like a millennial with their hands in their face, and it's a black and white image, and it's like, nothing matters anymore. And then there's a picture of Gen Z with like this kid with a backwards hat and sunglasses, like doing this and be like, nothing matters anymore. And I think it's funny, but I think about it a lot and how much like that thought, whether people think of it consciously or not, that's kind of a prevailing feeling within the world right now, that there's nothing you can do. We're all going to die anyways. And I hate that so much. I think it's an evil thought. It's not true. That type of thinking is what leads to wickedness. I also think it's incredibly sad and very telling of our time that right out the gate, President Nelson is telling us that, hey, there is such a thing as right and wrong. To me, that's insane how, why does that even need to be said? It's sad that it needs to be said, but there is such a thing as right and wrong. We have this idea of moral relativism prevailing as well as nihilism, and it's just sad. Something I've been thinking about too is President Nelson's use of the word plagues. We know that in the Old Testament, the 7 plagues that we learn about are a type and a shadow of things to come in the last days. Now, how literal is it? Maybe it's not as literal as we think. I could be wrong on that, but it's just some food for thought. Please make this conference a time of feasting on messages from the Lord through his servants. Learn how to apply them in your life. It's as simple as that. We need to go into conference wondering how we can change and how we can apply the messages to our lives. This is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We are his covenant people. The Lord declared that he would hasten his work in its time, and he is doing so at an ever-increasing pace. We are privileged to participate in his holy work. Again, hasten and an ever-increasing pace. There is such a great sense of urgency. We are preparing for the second coming, and we are doing that by gathering scattered Israel. We know where we can get pure truth, doctrine, and revelation. That's from the prophet and from the other church leaders. Brothers and sisters, I'm grateful for our prophet, and I'm grateful that we have him to lead us and guide us in these latter days. He has given us so many reasons to love Christ, to really trust in him. Because of President Nelson, I've really wanted to become stronger in my faith. I've wanted to learn more and understand more about the nature of God, and especially the nature of Jesus Christ. I want to be more like Christ, and I know that the only way I can do that is through following the counsel of the living prophet. The prophet of Jesus Christ Church will lead you back to Christ. Thank you. This is the greatest cause.